So, for my first podcast, I decided to do increasing global food security. So, a little bit about me. Currently, I'm a junior attending the Danville Area High School. I've recently changed what I would like to major in from political science to I would now like to double major in business. And I also play basketball, football, and I run track in the spring. So I'd like to start off with a rudimentary definition of what food security is. And essentially, it is an individual's ability to afford a reliable amount of nutritious and affordable food. So, to get a better understanding of what food security is, you need to understand the 4 objectives before getting into the issue and solutions and limitations. First is the physical availability of the supply of food, and this is determined by the level of food production. Secondly is the economic and physical access to food. So a supply level may be sufficient at a national or even international level. However, it may not necessarily be met at a family level because families may not be able to physically get to locations where there's food, and they may not be able to actually afford the food. The third objective is utilization, and this is how the body makes the most of various nutrients in food. So good biological utilization of consumed food is how nutritional status of individuals is determined. And this goal also aims to have individuals be consuming more nutritious and healthier foods like fresh produce, as opposed to more unhealthy fast food alternatives. The final objective is stability, and stability is if all objectives can be met over a certain period of time. And some things that can impact stability are things such as weather conditions, political instability, or economic factors. So for food security to be met, all 4 objectives must simultaneously be met at the same time. So to the issue, according to the State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World report, in 2023, 2.33 billion people experienced moderate to severe food insecurity, and over 3.1 billion people could not afford a healthy diet. To put it into perspective, in 2023, there were roughly 8 billion people on the planet, meaning roughly 1/4 of the entire population had experienced moderate to severe food insecurity. So, for my proposed solution, I propose that UN members should be required to pay a small additional amount due in order to support the World Food Program. And the World Food Program, or the WFP, is a part of the UN that helps in addressing food security by producing emergency assistance with food and cash in areas of disaster. This could be weather disasters or even like war and like foreign affair disasters as well. Additionally, they help with long-term development by working with farmers to improve nutrition and cut food loss. Currently, the funding for the program has been being reduced every year. In 2024, the program received $9.8 billion, and in 2025, the WFP only received $5.7 billion. And this is largely in part due to the program only getting its funding from donations as opposed to mandated funds. So by forcing countries and nations to contribute to this cause, it would overall increase the funding for the program and its possibility to expand food security into more nations and more communities overall. However, there are 2 limitations to this solution. One is that not all countries would be willing to pay more money, especially if these said countries are already struggling financially. It wouldn't be very logical to make them pay even more on top of having to pay more in other areas and just experience more financial struggle. And the other limitation would be that conflicts between nations would complicate the willingness of countries to want to contribute. So, for example of this, Ukraine may not want to add these funds. Like, even though they're required to, they would not want to if these funds were going to locations maybe like as Russia, because they're currently at a conflict and it wouldn't make sense for them to be funding their war and their side of it. And this would overall just kind of make countries less likely to want to help and contribute to this cause. And these are my citations, and I would like to thank you for your time.